The barn had stood longer than any of us. My grandfather built it plank by plank when corn was still hauled by horse, and my father kept it standing through floods, droughts, and one tornado that missed us by a miracle. It wasn't pretty, and it sure wasn't modern, but it was legal, registered, insured, and older than the entire subdivision that now surrounded my land. That subdivision belonged to the Willow Ridge HOA. From the day they arrived, they hated the barn. It didn't fit their brochures. Didn't match their rustic luxury theme. Didn't look good from the jogging trail they'd built along my fence line without asking. The HOA president, everyone called her Karen, even behind her back, made it her personal mission to get rid of it. I got letters weekly. Violation notices. Aesthetic concerns. Claims it was a fire hazard, an eyesore, a key blight on community value. I ignored them all. I lived quietly. Dressed plainly. Drove an old pickup. Let them think I was just another stubborn farmer refusing to sell. Then one night, the smell woke me. Smoke. By the time I reached the field, flames were already chewing through the roof. Fire trucks arrived fast, but old dry wood doesn't wait. The barn collapsed inward, sparks rising into the dark like angry fireflies. Karen showed up before the fire was even out. She stood with the other HOA board members, arms crossed, watching. I'll never forget the smile she tried to hide. When our eyes met, she didn't look sorry. She looked satisfied. The next morning, before the ashes were even cold, I got an email. While this is unfortunate, the HOA considers the removal of the non-compliant structure a net benefit to the community. That's when I knew. This wasn't an accident. The fire marshal was polite but thorough. He asked about threats, disputes, recent complaints. I handed him a thick folder of HOA letters, warnings, and emails. He raised an eyebrow but said nothing. 2 days later, Karen came to my property with a cease and desist notice, claiming the burned barn debris was now a key health violation and demanding immediate removal at my expense. She spoke slowly, smugly, like she was explaining something obvious to a child. You really should have complied sooner, she said. These things have a way of resolving themselves. I thanked her for stopping by. She logged. What Karen didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I hadn't lived quietly because I was powerless. It lived quietly because I preferred it. 3 weeks later, the fire investigation report came back. The cause was ruled intentional. Accelerants. Tampering. Evidence that pointed directly to someone with access, motive, and documented hostility. The HOA. That same week, subpoenas went out. And 2 weeks after that, Karen received her court summons. The hearing location. The federal courthouse downtown. The judge assigned me. Karen didn't recognize my name on the summons at first. Why would she? To her, I was just a man with the ugly barn who wouldn't follow rules. She probably assumed I'd hired some aggressive lawyer and was trying to scare the HOA into a settlement. She showed up confident. Laughing. Talking loudly in the hallway about ki frivolous lawsuits and ki stubborn landowners. Then the courtroom doors opened. And I walked in. The color drained from her face so fast it looked unreal. The bailiff called the room to order. Everyone stood. Karen didn't, at least not right away. She was frozen, staring at me like she'd seen a ghost step into a robe. I took my seat on the bench. Please be seated, I said calmly. Karen's attorney leaned toward her, whispering urgently. Papers shuffled. Panic spread across the defense table like spilled ink. The case wasn't about revenge. It was about facts. The fire marshal testified. So did the insurance investigator. Emails were entered into evidence, Karen's emails. Messages celebrating ki finally solving the barn problem. HOA board text discussing ki creative solutions ki and ti making the issue disappear. One board member had already taken a deal. Karen tried to argue ignorance. Claimed she never ordered anything. Blamed a Karoga contractor. But the timeline didn't lie, and neither did the money trail. I watched her carefully as the truth stacked higher and higher. She wasn't angry. She was terrified. When it came time for sentencing recommendations, the prosecutor didn't hold back. Federal arson. Conspiracy. Abuse of authority. Obstruction when the HOA attempted to destroy records after the fire. I listened. Took notes. Asked questions. Then I spoke. I talked about property rights. About how power, real power, comes with responsibility. About how HOAs exist to serve communities, not terrorize individuals who don't fit an image. I never raised my voice. I didn't have to. Karen was removed from her position before the trial even concluded. The HOA dissolved within months, buried under fines, lawsuits, and criminal charges. As for my barn, I rebuilt it. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Same footprint. Same location. Stronger materials. Fully compliant with every law that mattered. The jogging trail was rerouted. No one complained. Sometimes, when I drive past a field at sunset, I think about how easily Karen could avoid all of it. All she had to do was respect a boundary. Instead, she chose fire. And learned, far too late, that some farmers don't need to raise their voices. They just need to take the bench.